right here, the Protagonist Seat podcast.
Hey, we can see you there.
Yeah.
We can see you there sneaking.
You're sneaking around so we can't see you watching our podcast there. You're being all stealthy with your headphones in.
Just, don't sneak with our podcast. We're loud and proud. Speakers on the bus.
Yeah, come on, play that shit. Come on.
Let everyone know.
Hey,
Let's make everyone listen to our podcast.
Walk up to the bus driver, tap him on the shoulder, say, "Hey, can you pass the aux cord?"
And if he does, be like, that's cool.
Make sure you tip him. Give him an extra buck.
Tip him $1.50 if he's got a nice hat.
Yeah, one of those cool New York type bus drivers.
Make sure you tip your bus drivers, folks.
Yeah. Anyway, this is the Protagonist Seat. I'm Alex.
And I'm Ian.
Yeah, don't get us confused by our...
Incredibly deep, manly, resonant tones.
Yeah. You don't want our bassy tones to confuse you.
Bassy tones.
Our big, bassy tones.
We should start
And
before this bit goes on forever.
Oh, this bit has already gone on for too long.
Too long.
Anyway, yeah, this is the Protagonist Seat. I'm Alex. That is Ian.
Lord Elmaloy Case Files the 2.
Yeah, we're here to talk about anime, and this is the first anime that we talk about.
It is. It is the first one on our list. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, so we get to find out why done it.
Why done it? This is some shit.
Yeah, so after the previous episode, the girl that was prime suspect is dead.
She gets fried by lightning.
And Waver convinces Kyrie to help him. And he's like, I want payment up front. He's like, I'm super in debt and I don't have a lot of money. He's like, just give me one of your cigars.
I'll take a cigar. All right, we can do that.
Yeah. Deal,
shotgun necromancer.
Kyrie's so cool.
Kyrie's the fucking best.
Like, best part of Apocrypha. I didn't like Apocrypha, but he's just cool.
Kyrie and Mode Red are the coolest part of Apocrypha.
Yeah.
So basically they do some shit. They talk some shit, they sling some shit.
Yeah, and so Kyrie's walking down the hall with Gray, and a lightning beast jumps through and attacks them.
Yeah,
some kind of like lightning dog.
If you've ever seen Ari, I think it's the first Resident Evil game. It's like that first jump scare where the dogs jump through the window, except this is a black dog.
Yeah, and it almost looks like he uses projection magic on one of the books to like protect himself.
Because he's cool and he thinks good.
Or like enforcement. He enforces the book to be like stronger so it can like take the hit from the beast.
Yeah.
And then at first he's about to attack it, but then Gray's like, nah, I got this. And she like cuts it in half instantly.
Yeah, because he's even like, stay behind me, Missy. This one's a little too. And then she just runs past him. And he's like, oh, well, fuck.
And then he goes and talks to Waver and he's like, hey, can you tell me what's up with her scythe? Because the beasts are scared of that. And he's like, fine. It's King Arthur's spear.
Yep. Wrong yum yum yad.
Yeah, Ring Minioid, Rion Minioid, I don't know.
Ronimigiad.
Yeah, I don't know.
King Arthur's
she
lance.
Screams it in FGO, but it's like, they say it with a bit of an accent,
And it's a hard name.
Yeah, it's like Old English.
It is very old
English. It's like
English.
Celtic, Gaelic, whatever.
But yeah, she has King Arthur's spear, and she's like, "Oh, okay, that's some shit, but that's fine."
And the lady from the policies division is convinced that it was the son who did all of this. He murdered his father and the woman. But then Waver's like, nah, I'm about to crack this case wide open. He's like, let's all go down to the basement.
Yeah, he does the thing where he's like, I have what I need to solve this case.
And they all perform a ritual, and he has Rhaenys show up, but she's obviously still fatigued from the fight, and she's like, I can't really participate in this. He's like, it's fine, I just need you to stand there.
Yeah, because her mystic eyes get all fucked up in this place.
And then they do it the ritual, and her mystic eyes start going crazy. And then after he's like, "Ha, I figured it out. It was actually the dead necromancer guy that did this ritual." And she's like, "Wait, so did you just use me as a catalyst?" And he's like, "You are a catalyst. Just stay there and be quiet."
And so, yeah, basically the point of the workshop is to use...
Yeah, it was to draw out power from mystic eyes.
And specifically...
His sons, yeah. The lord of that, or the master of the house.
Yeah, I can't remember his fucking name.
The white suit guy.
Yeah, white suit man who uses 2 combat knives later, and it's cool.
Yeah, he has mystic eyes that can see fairies, and apparently he was trying to draw out the power in those by using the dead.
Yep, which goes great every time. And apparently the black dogs are part of King Arthur's wild hunt. I guess that's a thing.
Apparently this workshop has been opening up a portal to the reverse
open a portal
to the reverse side of the world where the fairies are.
Yeah. And the fairies don't like that.
Yeah, and because the fairies they found out why the head necromancer there was murdered. He was actually murdered by the fairies because they didn't like what he was doing.
Yeah, they were like, "Stop that shit." So they killed him with a black dog.
Yeah.
And
now all the black dogs are attacking.
Yep.
And they have a cool scene where everyone goes and fights.
It's really cool.
Because Kyrie's just shooting them, throwing his grenade hearts at him, and Waver actually looks like he's having the most trouble. He's just kind of doing like finger gun lasers.
Yeah.
And Gray's kind of destroying them all. And then when a lot of them are coming, he's like, "Gray, you have my permission. Use it.
Do it."
And she, for lack of a better term, she uses her noble phantasm.
Yep. She releases King Arthur's lance and fucking nukes it.
Yeah, but it doesn't destroy the gate. And they're like, "Well, shit." Because then the policies lady's like, "All right, we'll just gouge out his mystic eyes."
It's too late for that.
Yeah, it's
Sorry,
too late
bitch.
for that. And it's like, and Kyrie even says like, "It'll probably take months to figure out a way to shut this portal down." But then he's like, "I got this," and he decides to just go through the portal.
Yeah, because it seems like he formed some kind of connection with the fairies.
Yeah.
The one particular fairy spirit that's there. So he basically just walks with her to the fairy town.
Yeah, and Waver's like, "No, that's not a good idea."
And he's like, "Sorry, I'm going to do it anyway."
And then he goes through and the portal closes.
Yep.
And then mystery solved.
They did it.
But as he's leaving, he hears from the policies lady that apparently the necromancer that was the head of this household was involved with some guy. I think its name is like Rail Zeppelin or something.
He's looking for the there's like a mystic train or something like that sells mystic eyes to people.
Yeah, there's a guy that deals in specifically mystic eyes.
And that's the Rail Zeppelin that's in the title.
Yeah, so this is apparently going to be the next major arc we're entering into. But that should be cool.
Yeah, I like it.
I like Case Files because I think this is the next best Fate show next to Zero and Stay Night.
I agree.
Because Apocrypha and Extra Last Encore were not very good.
Yeah, they were bad.
I guess if we're going to count it, Carnival Phantasm is the best Fate material.
I mean,
that's my favorite.
That's the meme content.
Yeah, but that's my favorite.
That's the rich meme
that had
content.
That had good shit like Archer watching Rin try to figure out how to use the recorder on a Blu-ray player.
That's pretty good.
It had the race, which
yep.
Which just that whole episode was perfect.
Yeah.
Good shit. No, not really like a lot of accessible places to watch that though.
No, and that's the shame with it, is that sometimes finding the good Fate stuff is a little difficult.
Yeah, like the visual novel.
But
yeah,
we should move on to the abandoned sacred beasts.
I actually this show I've been teetering on, where like the past couple of weeks I've been about it. I was actually into this episode.
Yeah, I liked it.
I don't know if it's just because I really liked Gargoyle's design.
Gargoyle is cool, and Gargoyle's MO is cool. Because basically they go to the town, and there's some fan service that happens, and then they find out that the person who's been murdering hookers is Gargoyle.
Yeah, even though we did see Kane murder some hookers.
Yeah, but these are different hookers. There's a lot. Also, this place is called Whitechapel, which is
I know.
actual.
That's the place where the Jack the Ripper killings happened in England.
Yeah. So
I mean, it's pretty on the nose. This place is
is
built to be like an industrial era England.
it looks like Victorian England.
Yeah.
It's got the stovepipe hats. So they're like they do this dude's Gargoyle's backstory about how basically he was the one in the unit who was always like, the South is bad. We need to fuck up the South because
we are doing this for justice and righteousness. And so then after, when he went all crazy, he just basically became a weird like superhero almost, where he's like, I have to stop the crime here.
By murdering hookers and children who steal apples.
All sinners must die.
All sinners must die.
And Hank goes to fight him, and Charles still can't pull the fucking trigger.
Nope. She has a full-on big-ass gargoyle rushing at her.
And yeah.
And then Hank steps in because she can't shoot him.
And he's like, oh, and for the one of the few that's actually like, oh, Hank, you're here to kill me, then you must be a sinner. Come to the church. I'm ready whenever.
Yeah. You can face me in my boss arena.
Which actually is good for Hank, because then he gets to choose to fight him at nighttime, so Hank's werewolf powers can kick in. But it turns out Kane visited Gargoyle.
He gave him one of the God Killer bullets, because Kane is he's a jerk.
Yeah. Which I wonder how much is Kane and how much is his incarnate, like, taking over.
I don't know. That's a very interesting question.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, you got Gargoyle, who, his incarnate is a fucking gargoyle. And then you got Kane, who's just like a vampire.
Yeah, so I don't think he probably morphs that much.
Yeah.
He probably morphs the least out of all of them.
I did feel they do a thing, because I felt a little bad for Gargoyle. Because they basically show him showing up in town at first, and it's still him. But he goes up to a kid who steals a purse, and he's like, let me tell you about justice and why you shouldn't steal purses,
And the kid pulls a knife on him because he's terrified of him, because he's a fucking gargoyle man.
Yeah. So the kid pulls a knife on him, and he has to kill him, and then he snaps.
And he goes like, so this is the justice I must bring.
Yep.
Yeah, and so he and Hank fight, and Hank actually looks like he's winning.
Yeah.
Until he gets shot with the God Killer bullet, which he makes him lose his werewolf form.
Because apparently the God Killer bullets don't instantly kill incarnates.
It just seals their powers.
Yeah.
Which, why not shoot them while they're still they're in their crazy form, and then they're human for a little bit, so they're like, oh shit.
Yeah, don't ever remove this ever.
Yeah, let that just sit there. You know what? Give me a constant, steady supply of those. Just shoot me in the arm every day.
Literally shoot me every day. You know what? That's a very good question.
Yeah. All right, we've discovered plot holes for this.
Unless it doesn't work on the crazy ones. Like, once they fully transform, they're too far gone, and all it can do is really kill them.
Yeah. Or they only have a finite supply.
The OG ones are very finite. Because the ones Hank uses are a cheap imitation.
Yeah, and I think the one Kane probably had was one of the ones that the doctor lady actually created.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Charles actually ends up showing up because the kid whose mom was a hooker that got killed runs with her gun and tries to like shoot Gargoyle. And then it looks like she's protecting the kid and Gargoyle's going to kill her. And Hank rips the bullet out of himself. Like, he reaches inside, pulls the bullet out, and then immediately werewolf forms and, like, shoves his, like, claw right through Gargoyle's chest.
Yeah, because Hank is a fucking badass.
But then, after it looks like he won, Kane shows up. And apparently one of the other people from the squad she's like an arachnid lady, and she captures Charles.
Quaalag shows
Quaalag.
up.
And she, and Kane's like, hey, I'm giving you an invitation. If you show up, we won't harm the girl. And I'm assuming it's going to be like, hey, you should go crazy too like the rest of us.
Yeah. Why don't you just succumb, Hank? Why don't you just go nuts?
Yeah, just be a crazy werewolf all the time, even though you can only use your thing at night.
Yeah, how would that work for Hank? Because would he still be Hank during the day, but at night he would go
Maybe he would be like
crazy?
an actual werewolf where it's like he can't control himself at night.
That's what I'm thinking. I don't know, but we'll have to see.
And maybe Cheryl will pull the fucking trigger.
That would be interesting. Last minute, she just fucking pulls the trigger on like the arachnid lady and immobilizes her or something.
I really like I like the ED of this show where it's like the well like drawn like thing
I
of
do
all
too.
all the monsters.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
This show does have a very good ED.
But yeah, this was the best episode so far, I think. I've
Yeah.
enjoyed this one the most.
This was cool. It was solid. Had a lot of interesting shit.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it continues to pile on interesting shit.
We just want more interesting shit piled on all the time.
We just want more interesting shit. That's all you need. You know what? I would say Fire Force has been piling on some interesting shit lately.
Yeah, I actually like this episode too. Fire Force, I'm always I feel weird about because sometimes I'm like, for parts of the episode, and then other parts I'm like, hey, this was actually pretty good.
Yeah, I would say I like this show.
Yeah, so we meet so in this episode, there's a guy who is a former firefighter who was put on trial for basically
He killed 4 people.
yeah, he killed 4 people and he was all crazy and stuff. And he got off because the government wasn't gonna like
They're not gonna convict a fucking firefighter.
yeah. And so everyone's all pissed off, and then it looks like one of the bad guys does something with his magic. I think it's the card guy, and he gets turned into an incarnate, but he's self-aware. Which I'm glad that that's a thing, because if it was just mindless things the whole time, I wouldn't really like the show. But
That would be kind of boring.
yeah. But now he's like a crazy like fireman. He's like, yeah, and he starts like going after the judge, and he's like, but I set you like I said you weren't guilty. And he's like, how do you get to decide what happens to me?
Yeah.
I'm in charge now.
He pulls his lawyer outside, and he's like, so I saved you, right? So that means that your life is mine now, which means that I can do whatever I want with you.
And the squad gets called to go, but Shinra and Arthur aren't there because Maki sent them to go get a cat out of or a dog out of a tree.
And turns out it was just
The mascot character.
Mamoru-san.
Yeah, and they're like, isn't that a job for actual firefighters? And she's like, yeah, but people call us all the time thinking we're actual firefighters, so you guys aren't doing anything, so just go and do that.
I'll do your paperwork for you.
And then when they go and do that, the actual fire happens, and the vice captain of the squad is pissed. He's just like, how dare they sneak off?
Maki, where are Shinra and Arthur?
And she can't bring herself to tell them that like she sent them away.
Yeah, so she just says they wandered off, so he's mad pissed.
But then they end up showing up together where almost like Shinra starts flying and he's like, listen, I'm faster, I'll go on ahead. And Arthur just grips to him and he sits on his back like he's flying on him.
Yeah.
And it looks so dumb. But they fly next to the car and he's like, Shinra, Arthur, what are you guys doing? This is a public road.
It's fine, don't worry about that.
Yeah, they end up going on ahead and fighting it, and they're way stronger than it.
Yeah.
So it's freaking out because it's getting its ass whooped.
Yeah. I like the fight. I think it's cool.
Yeah, and it starts trying to be like, hey, you guys are just murderers. You can't kill me because I surrendered. And the vice captain guy with the glasses is just like, yeah, I don't care if you surrendered. You're a monster.
Yeah, so I'm gonna kill you.
And he's like, see, I knew you were just murderers. And he runs away. And they're like, Shinra, you're the only one fast enough to catch him.
Go catch him before he starts killing people.
Yeah, and he goes after him, and we meet the 5th force.
We also get a little thing where the captain starts to give a pep talk like, hey, it's okay to murder this one, even though it's self-aware. But then vice captain's like, you need to be our shining light.
Yeah.
And he steps in and he's like, fucking murk this idiot.
Yeah. I, as the vice captain, will tell you to do the dirty shit.
But yes, we do meet the 5th squad.
And it's this dominatrix chick, and she just uses all of like a bunch of like dudes in her squad as like literal foot mats where she's just walking on them, and they're all just like, oh.
She also uses them as a throne.
Yeah, a chair.
Chair.
Besides like the actual ones who can do fighting and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she shows up and after Shinra's about to beat the guy, and she's like, yeah, we're gonna be taking this. And he's like, this is our jurisdiction. And she's like, but I'm a commander. And he's like, yeah, but you're not my commander.
You're not my supervisor.
Yeah. And then she gets all pissed off, and apparently she has an ability where she can just kind of like, I don't know if she drains the energy or locked up his body, but he basically fell down to the ground.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it is.
She has some weird eye thing.
Her eyes make people go on the ground.
And she has like a fan as her weapon.
Yeah, and the fan is cool. But basically she walks up to him and she's like, lick the shoe.
Yeah.
Lick the
and
shoe.
instead he just looks up her skirt and he's just like, eh.
The fucking face he makes is real good. But yeah, and she's like, ugh. Ugh.
And then the rest of his squad shows back up, and they kind of like bicker for a second, where he's like, hey, this is our jurisdiction, like the captain. And she's like, well, you guys are a new squad, so you don't even have a science division, so we want to all learn the secret of human combustion, right? So we should take him in. And then he kind of is like, and you'll tell us the results of your investigation? And she's like, oh yeah, of course. And then someone in her squad starts shit talking. Like this one dude, he's just like, huh, what a like shitty commander with a shitty squad. And then like Shinra and Arthur get kind of mad, but then Maki just kind of goes by and punches him in the gut.
Yeah.
And the vice captain actually gives her a thumbs up.
I thought this was really good because it's quick, and then she walks back and she stops next to the vice commander because he's giving her the death eyes, and then just shing with a thumbs up.
And they look like they're about to bicker some more, but she actually makes eye contact with the priest girl in their group, and she just kind of is like, all right, well, we're moving out.
Let's go home, guys.
Yeah.
Let's go home.
And then Shinra's group heads out too. And that's kind of it for the episode, but I've noticed something. And the ending, you can see where it's all like the girls at that Catholic church and stuff. She's there. She's one of like it looks like she's one of the older girls. And there's actually a scene, if you watch it, it's really careful, you can see the two of them sleeping next to each other, like on one of the benches. The woman who runs the 5th division and priest girl.
Huh.
So they're both from that whatever, like, because at the beginning of the episode she pulls out that thing.
Yeah, she pulls out a burned photograph of her at the convent.
So the convent, that thing that happens in the ending, that's not just a visual thing. That's like something that actually happened in her backstory. Yeah. So both of them were at that.
I knew it was definitely her backstory, but I didn't notice that Princess was there. Because this woman's fucking name is Princess.
Yeah, so Princess was there as well.
I like this show.
Yeah.
I think there's intrigue going on now. I didn't expect intrigue from it.
Same. I thought it was just going to be a battle shonen, but
yeah. You caught me off guard.
This is a weird week where I don't want to kill anything, and we're 4 episodes in, and we haven't dropped a single show.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dr. Stone. Holy shit.
Fuck.
Yeah, so this is a weird comeback, actually.
It is.
Like, I wouldn't gamble on this if I were Senku.
I mean, there's not much else he could do. Senku's options are very low.
It's like, all right, I'm going to gamble on getting my neck broken, and just the fact that, like, maybe this one little, like, piece of stone on my neck, fixing it will also repair my broken neck.
Because basically Senku's gamble is he has a piece of petrification still on his neck about the cervical vertebrae that Tsukasa breaks, and he is gambling on the fact that essentially that unpetrifying him is going to fix his spine, and I'm assuming it does, because he's our boy.
And Taiju comes back, and he sees this, and he's all broken up and freaked out about it, but Taiju's smart enough to actually figure out sort of what's going on, and our villain is actually afraid for a moment where he's like, or he's not afraid, but he's like, do I have to kill Taiju too? Is he going to go into a blind rage? If he keeps attacking me, I'll have to kill him.
Yeah, and this is not... I like Tsukasa as a villain because he doesn't want to kill everyone, but he's gonna if he has to.
Yeah, and Taiju picks up a rock and goes to smash it, and he thinks he throws it up in the air, and he's like, it's actually just meant to be a distraction, because he's like, Taiju's probably gonna do something, but instead it was Yuzuriha, and she runs over to the gunpowder and spreads it everywhere.
Yeah, she hucks it at him, so he kicks the jar that it's in, spreading gunpowder.
And when the rock lands,
it sparks.
And it blows up, and he's like, why would they need to bother fleeing? He's like, I broke his neck. There's no coming back from that.
And he also acknowledges that he knows that Taiju isn't going to kill anyone, so he knew that Taiju wasn't going to... He knew that Taiju knew he wasn't going to kill him with that attack.
Yeah. And he, we get a nice scene at the beginning, too, where before he kills Senku, too, where he was like, if only we met, like, 3,700 years ago, where it shows him almost if he was part of their, like, childhood.
Yeah, I really like this sequence because it really feels like something that Tsukasa was imagining.
Yeah, like, hey, this could have happened.
It capitalizes on another scene that we've also seen before, so that's nice. I like when things come back around. Use your shit. If you set up the shit, use your shit.
But yeah, and we get, like, that little scene of all the, like, figures that they sent into space, and his there, and his gets, like, sort of, like, Infinity War, like, Thanos out of existence.
His doesn't feel so good, Mr. Stark, and it fades away. And that made me sad. That invoked feelings of sadness in me.
Because think about if they all woke up and they were good pals, then things would have been easy.
Everything would have been great. But maybe he wouldn't be such a vengeful fucker.
Yeah, instead he's a crazy psychopath.
Yeah.
We also see in one of them he has like a short blonde girl in front of him, which I think is his sister, because I think his backstory is heavily tied to his sister.
Yeah.
And his motivations.
That's what I'm thinking as well.
Which I expect her to pop up at some point.
Yeah, of course. But Taiju and Yuzuriha escape with Senku's corpse.
Yep. And they do the stone thing, and I'm pretty sure it fixes it, but then the next half of the episode is showing everything Senku did when he first woke up.
Yeah.
And it's him voicing the monkeys that are watching him.
I thought that was pretty funny.
Because it showed him slowly advancing through the early stages of human civilization.
Yeah, because he makes fire. He realizes that, shit, this is a lot harder. If I had my other friends, I would be able to do this much faster. But that's basically that. I did like Yuzuriha and Taiju sort of figuring out Senku's plan, because essentially Senku was banking on them noticing that throughout the
actually
series,
she was the one that noticed it too.
Yeah,
I really am liking her as a character. I thought she was just gonna be Taiju's love interest. That's all she's there to do. But she's been like really useful.
Yeah. Basically we see a lot of scenes where Senku cracks his neck.
And she's like, it was like he was almost inviting him to attack his neck.
Yeah. And even Taiju was like, yeah, that's not a habit he had before. So Senku being the Joseph Joestar, it was all part of my plan.
Yeah. And hopefully, next week we'll see if we'll find out who the other people with the smoke towers are.
Yeah.
Which we see a bunch of new fucking people in the opening, so clearly it's going to be those people.
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
Machikaro Mazoku.
Shadow Mistress Shamiko, Shadow Mistress Yuko ends up losing her body for this episode for the first half.
Yep, because someone had to flip the fucking switch at the
Yeah.
bottom of her ancestral idol.
Yeah, so everything worked out perfectly. I like how she first appeared there and she's like, where am I? And she sees her ancestor sitting under a kotatsu watching TV drinking soda.
Yeah, in her sweats.
Yeah. And she's just like, oh, it's just you, Yuko. 1 second. And she like works super hard to like put everything away and like
Yeah, put the decorations up, and she tries to get her uniform on.
but she's still wearing like the sweatpants.
Yeah, and Yuko is like, can I help you get your sweatpants? And she's like, don't worry about that. We've got more important things now.
And she's like, so now you finally have a good connection. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to borrow your body. It's been so long since I had a chance to go out in the regular world. And she's like, what do I do? And she's like, you watch the TV.
Yeah, just...
And I love how she does. It cuts back to like, and she's not even like complaining. She's just like, oh wow, this has all the channels.
And later it cuts back and she's playing video games. And she's like, I can play the console I have at home in here. This is incredible.
Which is, it's like kind of, it's like it's her own mind. So it's just like the stuff she already has.
Yeah, of course.
And
But
yeah, at first they're worried like, oh man, this is her ancestor. She must be really powerful. And she goes to like pick up a desk and throw it at Momo. And she can't even lift it.
yeah, she's like, what's going on? I didn't expect it to be this heavy.
And Momo even starts like taking pity on her, and she's just like, I don't think this body is capable of doing the actions you want to do.
Yeah, so she resolves to use magic, and that doesn't work either. Same thing as before.
And she even wants to, she's like, I want to stop you just because I'm afraid you're gonna hurt Shamiko.
Yeah, you're gonna go too hard. And we also learn that her big plan is to kill a magic girl, visit all of the hot spring spas in Japan, and then take over the world.
And after she's worried that Momo's gonna kill her, and she's like, can I at least get one last wish? And then it cuts back to Shamiko or Yuko waking up, and she's in a massage chair, and she's like, what happened? She's like, we're just fulfilling your ancestor's last wish. And she's like, was it a hard battle? Yeah, she fought real hard. She's like, why do I feel so sore? She really pushed your body to the limit.
Yeah.
Also, it was $17 for this hot springs trip, and she said just put it add it to your debt.
So now she's in debt for, I think, $23, $24.
Yeah. And so the next half of the episode, she gets a part-time job to help pay off her debt. Selling wieners.
She sells wieners. And her mom reminded her about the $400 a month curse.
Yeah, which is very specific, where anytime it just sounds like her mom being a klutz, just losing money.
Yeah.
But then after she's like, but wait, we still go to school. Yeah, and I go to the hospital a lot because I have a weak body. She's like, oh yeah, the $400 a month curse doesn't affect medical bills or...
It allows me to save up for medical bills and important expenses like that.
Yeah. And they're like, wow, that's a very oddly specific curse.
It is. But we see her go to job work town.
Yeah, and she starts making wieners, and she finds out from her boss, like, hey, Yuko, you're really good at this. If you do well enough in sales today, I'll let you take some home.
And that pushes her even further. And then Momo shows up, because of course Momo shows up. And basically, they banter a little bit. Yuko sells some wieners, and then accidentally
knocks the entire thing off, and it forces Momo to transform, and she successfully saves the entire plate of them.
She transforms in a new personal best.
Yeah, I like how the narrator, like, there's always a timer whenever she transforms.
And this time it was 0.008 seconds.
And apparently she was telling Shamiko, she's like, this was usually I just kind of brute force everything, but I had to be super precise in the quick amount of time and stab each wiener with a toothpick.
I feel like I had to I feel like I grew from this
Yeah,
experience.
I've actually gotten faster thanks to this. And she's like, thank you for this. And Shamiko's like, I've only made her stronger.
I have made her harder to kill.
But then after, she still thanks her for helping her out, and Momo buys a bunch of wieners, and they seem to bond for a second, and then at the end, the manager is like, wow, we did amazing in sales today, but we sold through so many wieners that I'm actually not able to, like, give you any to go home with.
So here, have a package of plain yogurt.
And she's, like, really pissed off about it, and the narrator's like, don't worry, don't worry, Yuko. Yogurt is good as well, in its own unique way.
And the episode closes with Yuko cursing Momo's name.
And her ancestor, Lilith, is watching on TV.
Yep.
And then she changes the channel after, and she's like, ooh, I wonder what else is on.
I like when we first see her watching TV, she's watching a fucking...
T-Rex with an assault rifle.
It's a shark.
Oh, it's a shark?
It's a shark. And it's the dumbest shit ever, and I like it. And I like this show a lot. This show's great. You should watch it.
Good shit.
I like it.
Mao-sama.
Retry.
Try again.
Yeah.
Listen, Mao-sama, you must continue to try.
We did the thing in unison, so it's cool.
It's always cool when you work together with your friends.
Friendship is cool, guys.
Dude, friendship's awesome.
Take a hint. Take a hint from us.
That's the
friendship is cool.
That's the addition this week. The friendship is cool, you know?
Friendship is cool.
You know what? No one ever says friendship is cool. That's the thing.
I feel like you're wrong, but I can't think of any specific examples.
You can't dispute me, therefore I am right until I am disputed.
I'll find it. I'll find it,
Hey,
dude.
Friendship is pretty cool. But yeah, in this episode...
We should talk about the show we watched.
Yeah, we should talk about the show about the mob boss, Demon Lord.
Yeah.
So, they go to the village that Luna is from. Or Luna owns. She's not from it.
Yeah, she owns it. And everyone just kind of stands around looking sad all day.
Yeah.
Which was... This was something I actually laughed at when I realized it. Because they're riding in their carriage down the street, and there's just a fucking person standing there looking sad, doing nothing. And I'm like, oh, okay, I get it.
It's to set the tone.
I get it now. That's this town.
And apparently she doesn't really govern it. She leaves someone from the church to govern it.
And I guess they're doing a great job.
Yeah, and so then Mao sent the Mao-sama, he's like, I forget his actual name.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. He decides, hey, this would be a good base of operations.
It's technically owned by the church, so no one's going to say anything when I build my big evil fortress here.
Yeah.
And it's easy to fix up because this place is a shithole.
Yeah, it can only go up from here.
It turns out it's full of bunny girls.
Bunny people. There are bunny men here.
Yeah, but I don't look at the bunny men because they're not going to get the fan service outfits.
Yeah, because what we've seen in the opening, they get the bunny girl outfits.
They get the bunny girl outfits.
Yeah, and they speak with like adding like pion to it,
or just bunny. I'm pretty sure that other girl just says bunny.
I think she just says usagi in it. Like,
yeah,
but yeah, they just, and he's like, why do they do that? And they're like, well, humans get mad at us if we don't add that to it.
So he's like, guys, just stop. You don't have to do that around me.
And he builds them a well.
He builds them a special super magic well from his game, because I think I'm starting to figure it out more. I think he's isekai'd to another world, but he still follows his own game's rules.
Yeah.
Which is actually a little bit of an interesting twist, because he's not going into a game world, and he's not going into a busted fantasy world.
In his game, he has admin privileges.
Yeah.
So he is in another world with game powers that have admin privileges.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they're all amazed by what sorcery is this?
Yeah, what sorcery is this?
And they cut back to the church headquarters where one of the, like, I think the eldest sister is talking with the nobles and stuff, and they're just like, so Luna's decided to run her town on her own, huh? That's strange.
Yeah.
Yeah, she goes back and sees Queen shows up at the place, and she's like,
Killer Queen.
yeah, she's like, hey, you saw Luna recently. Did she seem well? I also heard there was a dragonkin there. And then she just starts rolling around on the table being like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, I'm in love.
Yeah, she's in love with his B character.
Yeah, and she's weirded out by this. She's like, what's happening to the two of them?
What the fuck is going on with these people? And we also get to meet two nobles in particular. One's being a shit about it. He's like,
No, one's a noble, the other's the military commander.
Yeah.
And they don't get along because that's how it goes.
Yeah. And one of them's a shit, and the other one's super chill about it.
And that's all that really happens in this episode.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, that's it.
Not a lot happens. I feel like this is like, not a lot happens in this show, but it's fine.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me.
It's enjoyable. I still enjoy watching it.
Yeah.
Even though, like, nothing happens.
I think I forget his name, but I really like this voice actor.
Yeah, he's very good.
I like Kaiba.
Yeah. Kaiba makes things fun.
Speaking of fun, actually, speaking of holy fuck, from commonplace to world's strongest, Aru Ferretta, or however you say it, this was the ugliest this was the worst CG, some of the worst CG I've ever seen.
We said that Scorpion Monster was bad CG.
No, it's not even comparable.
Scorpion Monster is better only because Scorpion Monster is dark, which means we can't see the details, and it blends into the fucking walls, so we can't see how bad it is.
Yeah, at least it's shot poorly.
Yeah.
That's the weird thing to say. At least it's shot poorly. Like, that makes it better.
It's weird, but it does, because we get to see this monster.
Oh, they fight a Hydra, and it's like...
It's fucking bad.
Oh, wow. Like, I can't even describe how bad it is. Like, the budget here, there is no budget. It's like they took whatever low rendered, like, 3D model they could get. It wasn't finished or anything. It was just the basic outline. They slapped a solid color on each of the heads.
It's terrible. Whatever they did, they need to fucking stop. Like, I would be thrilled if I didn't see another, because this hurts. It hurts my eyes.
It's abysmal. Like, it's Berserk 2016, 2017 level.
I can firmly say I believe this is the worst CG I've ever seen. It's awful.
You know what? Definitely keeping it on the list because of that.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't think because the Scorpion was bad, but like that was like really bad CG. This is legendary bad CG.
How can
I want to
this get
see
worse?
how we get worse. I want to see how bad this can get.
Exactly.
But yeah,
that's basically the episode.
The whole episode is a boss fight.
Yeah. They figure out that some of the heads attack, some of them defend,
some
and then
heals,
he just fucking kills 3 of them in one shot with his sniper rifle.
Yeah, and it goes for a constant thing of like, actually, one important thing that happens is one of them has like a mind fucky power where it like starts like convincing her like you're gonna be all alone again. Then she gets sad, and then he runs over and he's like, hey, and then he kisses her.
Yeah,
and it's like, oh, it's like we're already jumping into that.
We're getting right into it.
Yeah, which I guess is nice instead of wishy-washy beating around the bush the whole time.
Yeah.
So you know what? Points for you, show.
This show does not seem like it's gonna have a wishy-washy main character in any sense of the word.
Yeah, so he kisses her and he's just like, nah, we're gonna make it out of here together.
We're a team.
And then he almost dies.
Yeah, and then he almost gets killed.
And I think he loses an eye because he has an eye patch in the opening, so this is where his eye... He gets hit with a beam that should...
In the back.
No, he gets hit in the beam with the face. Like, he stands directly in front of it. So he loses an eye, but nothing else. Only one, too, even though he's standing dead center.
It's because he blocks the rest of it with his sniper rifle.
Right, and it destroys his sniper.
Yeah.
And he's all unconscious, and she's like, I'm gonna save you now. So she takes his gun and just gets fucked.
Yeah.
And then after she's about to die, and he's like, man, what am I doing? Why am I just lying here?
Why the fuck am I just lying here on the ground?
Time to get up and just fuck this thing up. And he gets up, grabs his gun, saves her, and they both team up for one like last thing on it. She does her magic.
Team up for special attack.
They team up for special attack, and then he collapses and he's like, all right, that's everything I got. And they win.
I'm gonna chill here for a little bit. Please don't step on me.
And then she just kind of like snuggles up next to him, and they win.
Yep. I don't know what I wanted to be behind the door at the bottom of the dungeon. I can firmly say it was not the worst CG monster I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was like a PlayStation 1 cutscene enemy. Like
I don't even know if I would say PlayStation 1. Like maybe because it's got a decently high poly count, but it still looks like ass. Part of me was like, what if it was just a dude who was like, bruh, I hid myself down here from the gods. Go away. Fine, I'll just fucking teleport you up to the surface. Just get out of here.
I don't even know what I want from this show. This show gives me something new every week. I'm just kind of here for the ride.
I also don't know what I want from
I have no expectations. And I think that's the best part.
Yeah.
I don't expect it to be good. I don't expect it to be anything.
Exactly.
In fact, I just want to see just how fucking weird. I want to see if we can top this monster.
That's true. I do want to see if we can beat terrible Hydra.
Because I think you're right. This is some of the ugliest CG I've ever seen.
It's so bad.
It's like, did they finish this the night before?
I don't know if they finished it the night before. I think they finished it that day.
It's like, we need a monster for the scene. Because they even showed like like in the eye catch and like, you know, the eye catches in between like the halfway point the episode. Yeah. They show like a still. They show it like drawn like it's supposed to be good looking, and it's like,
I sent the stills off to Taiji. What has he been doing all week?
Yeah.
Taiji's on vacation, dude. Fuck.
Do any of us know how to 3D animate?
I'll pick up Unity real quick.
Yeah. Pick up Unity, just skim through the book, and just give us your best shot. Listen, we just got to get this out today. I don't care what it looks like.
Yeah, that feels like that sums up how this boss fight looks. I don't care how it looks as long as we get it out today.
Because think about that. This had a whole production team of... This isn't like a single person making a bad movie.
Yeah.
This is a whole team of people that had to go over every frame of this meticulously, and then at the end put it all together, look at each other, and say, all right, this is good to go.
All right, let's send it out.
Everyone sat in a room, watched this together, and then nodded and said, that's how we want that to represent our product.
Even the effects of the monster's attacks look like dog shit.
They look like basic After Effects, like...
Yeah, I feel like we could have made this monster in Adobe After Effects.
Yeah.
It's bad. It's hard to watch.
It's legendary bad.
I shouldn't say it's hard to watch, because it's not. Because it's so bad.
It's so bad, it's actually beautiful in its own way.
It's They've done an amazing thing here this week.
It's like, it's actually beautiful to look at. Like, I want to frame that thing.
It's like the Hunt Man poster. That's...
Where you look at it and you're just like, wow.
What the fuck am I looking at? But I can't look away.
Yeah. It's captivating.
It's captivating.
Because it wasn't like every scene with it, I just wanted to see more where I'm like, oh, it's moving now.
Oh my god. Okay, so in order to incapacitate the monster, he places grenades in the ceiling and blows up huge chunks of the ceiling to fall on it. They fall so slowly and gently onto the monster. Like, it feels like someone just placed these onto the monster.
They just keyframed it to, like, you know, fall on it, but it was just like a straight line with the, like...
Yeah.
the effect just slowly going down, and then the head's just lower.
It's so bad. This show is not a good-looking show.
Not at all.
Speaking of shows that didn't look good this week, if it's for my daughter, I'd even defeat a demon lord. I liked this episode, but I also noticed that this episode was looking pretty rough.
Yeah, Dale from far away is not okay.
No, is not good.
But yeah, so this episode, Latina wants to buy a gift for Dale
because she hears Marcel talking about it, and her and all her friends are like, "Well, we gotta do something."
Yeah, because she hears her friend like, "It's my dad's birth month." I'm like, imagine birth month. You get a whole fucking month.
Bruh, I don't even celebrate a day. I don't know what the fuck I would do with a month.
Yeah.
That's too much.
I got depressed on my birthday this year because I was like, I had to go to work, and I was like, fuck, I'm old. I'm in my mid-20s. That's so old.
It's a weird realization to be like, I'm in my mid-20s now. Fuck.
I'm 2 birthdays past the fun birthdays.
I'm as close as I can be to not being able to drink and also being 30.
Exactly.
I've done it. It's a weird realization.
But yeah, so she wants to make him a gift, and so one of her friends, her they're full of tailors, so she learns how to sew from them. And to get the materials, she gets a job working at Kenneth's. She always helped out there, but now she's working at the tavern.
It's a legit job now.
Yeah.
And everyone.
But Dale's all like, "She's ignoring me. Weh.
Yeah.
I am Dale.
I need constant affection from my daughter.
I am Dale. I am the father, but I am the most annoying character in this show."
Because no one can just be like, Dale, she's working to buy you a present. Just chill the fuck out.
But there are some creepy dudes hanging out there, and apparently they're like watching Latina, and they're like, "Hey, that's a demon, right? Yeah, that's a devil. What if we
They fetch a good price on the market.
We can sell that."
No, we can sell that.
And the only person that seems to notice, like, these individuals seem rather unsavory, is Jill freaking Vester.
Best boy Jill Vester.
Dude, even if we kill this show at some point, I know the best boy at the end of the season is gonna have Jill Vester as a contender.
It's gonna be real hard.
Jill freaking Vester.
He's like a middle-aged, balding man with a mustache, but he is the coolest dude ever.
Yeah. So Dale stuff happens. That's going to be mostly just, she got me a present. How nice. Everyone look at my present. I'm not depressed anymore.
Yeah.
And then Jill's there drinking at the bar, and he forgets his coin purse behind.
So naturally, Latina goes to bring it back to him.
And she gives it back to him, and he's like, "Oh, thank you." And he's like, "How sweet of you." And he's like, "Do you need me to walk you back?" And she's like, "No, I know the way."
All right, but be careful, because it's snowing. Because that's another thing in this episode.
Yeah.
It snows, and Latina likes it.
Yeah, but it's slippery out.
Latinas love snow.
Latinas love snow.
I feel like this season is the one that's going to get me in trouble. This is the one that I'm like, I'm glad no one watches now, but this is going to be on the internet.
Yeah.
So eventually in the future, I'm going to be doing some random shit, and then it's going to be, oh man, the controversy. He was talking about how Latinas love snow.
It's specifically you, though, and then I have to denounce you later in order to save my own career.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, I don't know. We used to do that podcast together. I knew it wasn't right at the time, and we drifted apart since then. I became an independent content creator. I wanted to separate myself from him.
I mean, I'm the one who's saying it, so it's definitely.
And then you have to do that apology video thing where you're like, "I'm sorry that didn't age well.
I'm sorry, a joke I made about a character's name did not age well, even though it wasn't really that racist."
Yeah.
I love the Latinx community, even though I do think that's a little goofy.
I do think that's a little goofy.
But you know what? It's fine.
But yeah, so she's running back, and she gets stopped by the 2 creepy dudes, and they're like, "Hey, little girl," and they're like, "Can you help us?"
And she gives I love her response because she gives the most pre-recorded child response where I think you should take this to the police.
And she's like, no, we just got a quick question for her. And then she tries to run away, and she slips because it's snowy. And then after, they're like, all right, now let's grab her, and let's go and sell her. And then after, Jill freaking Vester shows up, and he's like, what's going on here? And they're like, huh? And then she runs over to him, and then after she runs and, like, kind of hugs him, looking scared, and then he looks pissed, and he's like, they're like, hey, we were just talking to her. And he's like, are you sure you want those to be your last words?
That's the coolest thing I've ever heard. I think it's great.
And then the constable shows up, and it turns out Jill knows him. And turns out he's the father of one of Latina's classmates.
Yeah, her rich friend, basically.
And they were just like, we didn't even do anything yet. And he's like, yet? Huh.
We're gonna ask you about that at the station.
And,
Take them away, boys.
And then they're just like, hey, yeah, yeah, there's a human trafficking ring going on. Well, not human trafficking, but there's a trafficking ring for children of, like, different races going on around here.
And in a trading town, that's real bad, so you better be careful, little Latina.
And Latina and Jill agree not to tell Dale because...
Of course.
Dale would freak the fuck out.
Dale would probably, like, stealth into the prison and murder those men.
Yeah, so they're walking back, and he's like, hey, Jill Vester, what are you doing with Latina?
And then he's like, she was bringing my wallet back. Chill out, motherfucker.
Yeah.
And Dale is like, okay.
Jill Vester is the best.
Honestly, I think I would prefer if Jill Vester was her dad instead of Dale.
I would too.
I like Jill Vester a lot. I hope he continues to show up.
Jill Vester is great.
And his name is fucking Jill Vester.
That's everything you need to know about the guy.
Yeah.
He can pull off a name like Jill Vester.
And
everyone can call him Jill, and he's like the most badass looking dude in the room.
People call this dude Jill, and it doesn't feel like weird or demeaning.
Yeah.
That's how it is.
Are you lost?
No, actually, I'm here in your basement.
I think we're all lost.
We're going to do this bit every fucking week, so I hope you like it.
Get used to this one. We don't have a lot. Like, imagine if we just ignored it. It's low-hanging fruit. Come on, it's right there.
So why not ignore it?
Yeah.
But
we're not the creme de la creme of comedians.
Exactly. What if this was the one that comes back?
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. Like, they did this every week for a whole season.
And it really wasn't funny.
It wasn't. It was kind of okay the first time. Then it was just...
Yeah.
They check the traps, but there's nothing in the traps.
Yeah, there's nothing in the traps, but not only is there nothing in the traps, in the first part of the episode, actually, that because the traps is the latter half.
Yeah.
The first part, the girl who's always wearing her sweater is being a huge bitch. And she's, like, complaining about the fact that she wants to eat, like, something else. And Homare, I think that's her name, Homare.
Yeah.
Yeah, the savant girl, she's like, okay, I was planning on going diving for this. It's a specific type of, like, shellfish that she was going to get. And they're like, that's actual food. And she's like, okay, I'll go get that for us.
Actually, before she does that, because Shion's complaining, and Homare is like, don't worry, we'll have something in the trap soon. And she's like, how long does that take? Oh, it'll probably take, like, a couple of days. And then she's like, what are we going to eat today? And everyone's just kind of like, oh, that's a good point.
So then she goes, and
you got me there.
Yeah. So she's like, okay, I'll go get this type of shellfish for us. And Shion's really excited for it. And she goes out to go dive to go get it. And she goes with, I think she takes the tomboy girl with her.
Yeah. And
she doesn't find anything down there. Oh, they do give some good advice on how, Survival Papa, narrator.
Yeah.
His voice comes in, and apparently a good way you can see underwater is if you use your own breath, because everything would be blurry otherwise. So you kind of look through the bubbles.
Yeah,
that
you
make.
like breathe little bubbles out to make impromptu glasses
Yeah.
underwater.
And she couldn't find any of the shellfish, but she finds a shit ton of starfish. And she brings them back, and Shion's all like, oh, this isn't what I wanted at first. And then she notices, hey, Hamari's hands are all fucked up. And then she hears about from Tomboy Girl. She's like, yeah, she actually cut herself a couple of times trying to pry open some of the clams down there.
Yeah. And then Shion
Is like, hey, she went out of her way to do this for me, and I'm being a bitch right now.
she had character growth.
Yeah. So she's ate it anyway, and she realized, hey, this is actually pretty good.
Ba, ba, ba.
And you know what? The more you know.
The more you know.
Just try new things.
Also, there's something about the starfish.
Because
that,
friendship is cool.
Yeah.
Appreciate your friends.
Appreciate your friends. We love friendship. This is the friendship seat now.
Welcome to the friendship seat.
Welcome to the friendship seat.
Welcome to the friendship seat.
But then they go check the traps,
Yeah.
and there's nothing in them. They caught fuck all at first.
But then there's one where they hear some rustling. And it ends on that. It's like a cliffhanger.
We forget the barbecue.
Oh, right. They have a barbecue because, yeah, the Papa narrator's like...
Shion's losing her shit real hard.
Yeah, and she's like, what do I do? Oh, yeah, everyone's like crying, hugging her, and she's like, I'm really not good with this. And then her dad's voice come through, Shion, or Homare, if you want to ever fix a problem, always do it with a barbecue.
Yeah, whenever things are looking tough, just have a barbecue.
Listen, whenever things are tough, have a barbecue.
So she takes Shion out to this place that is revealed because of low tide.
Yeah, and she's like, oh, she's probably mad about yesterday, and she's gonna kill me.
She's gonna bully me and beat me up and bury me.
And she's like, yeah, if you just, there's a couple of fish that bury themselves during like low tide, so just help me dig them up, and then we can eat all of those.
Yeah, so they do that. And then everyone has a good time.
And yeah. And then next week we'll find out if they caught a rabbit or not.
Yeah.
Usagi!
Usagi!
Good times.
That's one of my favorite running gags in anime is just the sexy
You know what's great about this
voice.
show? It fits for summer because every episode is a beach episode.
Yeah. It's always a beach.
And you know what had a beach episode this week? Astra, Lost in Space.
Because we like friendship.
Yeah, friendship. And this week was a very friendshipy week.
Yeah, because...
Until the end. But we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll fucking get to that.
No, we won't get to it. We'll stop right before that, and then we won't ever talk about that.
That would suck, because that's some good shit. This
Yeah.
show is some good shit.
So they end up on a planet where it's like a beach planet.
They call it paradise.
Yeah, and it's actually a really nice planet. But you know what? I wouldn't swim in an alien ocean.
I would not either. I
Yeah.
don't know what's in there. That's not safe.
Yeah, but they do anyway. And it cuts to a certain point to the parents of all of them.
This episode in general is more focused on the parents. 'Cause
Yeah.
they're on a planet that's fine. There's not a ton of bad
So
shit.
we learn about what everyone's parents do for the most part. And for some reason, Iris' mom is the only one that fucking cares.
Yeah, she's
Everyone else is like, nope, our kids are dead and we should just leave them.
Yeah, everyone else, I'm theory crafting around it because like everyone else's parents are pretty cold. I would expect that from Zach's dad. That's what I would expect from him.
Yeah, because he probably like that kind of
He's
indifference rubs off on him.
Yeah. But
We already know Kitteri's mom and Yunhwa's moms are kind of bitches.
yeah, because Yunhwa's mom, we also learned she's a famous singer.
Yeah.
Um,
Who basically told her daughter, don't sing, you're just gonna annoy people. Like,
Yeah.
that's not how you cultivate talent.
no, it's not. But like, it's weird because everyone's family is fairly cold and distant, and it seems like Aries' mom is the only one who's like, hey, we should, do some shit. And she's actually the one who thinks up, maybe they're in space.
And everyone's
Maybe.
just like, bah, you have no basis for that.
and they're technically right.
Sharsa's mom seemed somewhat concerned, not as, but she was just like, maybe we could, Luca's father is a senator, right?
Yeah,
Maybe
the
we could.
Esposito.
Yeah.
Senator Desposito.
Senator Desperado. Even though, yeah, Luca didn't strike me as Spanish, but.
No.
Yeah.
Not with his pink hair.
Purple.
Whatever.
Yeah, he, yeah, she's like, maybe he could get the government to, like, fund a search. And he's like, yeah, we
already asked.
Yeah, he can't. And I don't know the full extent of what his dad does fully, but I know it's some kind of weird, like, DNA thing he opposes.
Yeah, he opposes what's known as the Genome Project, and he's away getting his DNA tested, basically. And we don't know what that is. That's not explained.
Yeah,
because people in real life probably wouldn't go around expositing random shit that everyone already knows anyway.
Yeah. But, yeah, we find that everyone's actually getting along super well on the island, and I like how Kanata and Zack are both, like, they're both diving for fish, and they're both going full, like, you know, just like...
Bro time, my
it's
fish
like,
is
mine
bigger.
is bigger! Mine is bigger!
I just caught a fish. Well, I also caught a fish.
I wanted to say, too, when they're leaving the planet with the chocobos, I do like how hard Kanata is crying.
Yeah.
Like, Kanata, Luca, and Ares are all crying, staring out the window, and Kanata, he's so loud, he's just like, we'll never forget you!
He is just so fucking loud. And Kittery is like, man, those guys are taking this one real hard. And Zack, I think it's Zack, is like, well, those things helped us a lot on this planet. Yeah. Actually, I think it's Charse. Charse says that.
Oh, and then when they get to the new place, too, Yunhua has Luca cut her hair, so now her face is exposed.
And she's super adorable.
Yeah, and all the guys are like, And, yeah, they're all just hanging out, having beach time, like Kanata and Zack. I like her. They're bros now.
Yeah.
And they're just like, because you could see in the ending credits, too, of stuff they were doing, they're both doing sumo with each other.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, everyone's just having fun, hanging out, and there is oh no, my PC's battery low. That's fine. I'll get to that after. Yeah, Kanata, everyone's hanging out, everything's good, and
Luca builds a lot of shit.
Yeah, Luca, turns out he builds them the spears. He builds Olgar a bow so he can go hunt birds. Yeah, Luca can do a lot of shit. Luca is their Swiss Army knife.
He's very useful, and he's just real positive. He's one of the few people who actually, like...
Olgar, that's like he's the only person Olgar talks to.
Yeah, and at one point he actually builds fishing rods.
And they go fishing together.
Yep.
And he starts asking Olgar a bunch of questions. He's like, you're being really annoying. And he's just like, that's just the way I am, and I'm not changing it.
And he's like, what does your dad do? Your dad's the vice president, right? And Olgar's like, how do you... Oh, because Luca's like, I remember your last name is the same as the vice president. I don't know why it didn't occur to me that he was your dad.
And he's like, you bother remembering last names? And he's like, come on, what's my last name? And he's like, I don't really care what any of your names are.
Everyone should remember my last name because it's Esposito.
And he's like, immediately like, wait, what does your dad do? And he's like, he's a senator. And like, Olgar's like, and then
Olgar gets a little spooky.
Yeah, and then after they're all hanging out, having a picnic outside, and we see, I like, immediately it cut to him, and I'm like, okay, yep. Turns out the guy with the gun is the problem guy all along.
Yeah. He walks out while everyone's having a fun picnic and puts a gun to fucking Luca's head. And he's like, if anyone moves, I will spread his brains everywhere.
Right as, like, he's saying a really convenient line, too, where he's just like, you know what? I don't even think there is an enemy among us.
Yeah. Sorry, bitch. Yeah. And then it ends. Cut to black.
Yeah. But, so, turns out, the guy who was dangerous, or the threat to everybody, was the guy with the gun.
Who wouldn't talk to anyone and was mean to everyone.
Wow. What? How? How was it him?
I think it's probably going to develop in some other way, but you never know. There's also another interesting thing in this episode where Olgar's dad, when talking about him, is like, it feels like my body is being ripped apart.
No, that one is that's Luca's dad.
It's both of them. They both say it.
Oh, wait, Olgar's dad says it too?
Olgar's dad says it to Ares' mom. He's like, yeah, I know exactly how you feel. It feels like my body's being ripped apart. And then as Luca's dad is walking back to his car, and one of the reporters is like, hey, how do you feel about the fact that your son fucking vanished like 2 months ago?
That means they're both in on it.
That's what I'm thinking.
All the parents are in on it besides Aries' mom.
Yeah, I feel like Ares was an accident. Like, I don't think she's supposed to be on there. Or maybe it was something to throw the scent off everyone else.
It might be Kanata's. Kanata's dad just seems like a stubborn, angry guy, so that's probably the extent of, like... He's just a, like Kanata mentioned, too. He's like a athlete. That's it. But Zach and Kittery's mom... Zach's dad and Kittery's mom are both, like, scientists.
And I think... No, it is Zach's... their parents work together on the same project.
Yeah.
And I think that their project is related to the Genome Project. So
Probably.
I think we're going to start getting some intel on how shit connects. But that will be for the future.
Yeah. Again, nothing dies this week.
Nothing dies.
Everything's good shit. This is a good season.
Yeah. This is a good season.
Or maybe we just picked well.
You know what? That could happen.
Yeah. Because there's always like, hey, if we picked this, we probably wouldn't have killed this show.
Yeah.
But yeah, we picked well this time. So if you want to keep up with us, ring that bell, like, subscribe, do all the shit.
Yeah, you know the drill. Like the video, subscribe to our channel.
Follow us on Twitter at Protagonist Seat. We update there. We also have a Facebook page.
Also, the Protagonist Seat. We also update there as well.
Yeah. Now we gotta go because we're making a JoJo video as well, kind of to end off on JoJo. So we're not done. So we got more work to do. So watch that. That'll be up as well.
Yeah. Short outro.
Yeah.
Watch our JoJo shit.
Yeah. More shit. More JoJo. Yeah. You got a whole nother Protagonist Seat thing you can watch if you want to devote like an extra. Probably can't go longer than 15 minutes.
Yeah, it won't be that long.
Watch us pull 20.
Bye.